Strength Beaconers, welcome. I've got a little story for you today. Goes a little something like this. A long time ago, for some of us, and not so long ago, for others of us, there was a girl. She had a headache. She was a healthy girl. She just seemed to get headaches every once in a while. Seems pretty normal for today's standards, right? A lot of us get headaches today. So when this girl got a headache, there was nothing in her cupboard. There was no Advil. There were no prescription drugs. There were no pill bottles. There was no emergency room unless you wanted to call the doctor and he came over with his bag. So what did that girl do? Well, what any girl would do. She would ask her mother or her grandmother what to do. I have a headache and I can't seem to kick it, and I've got to go to school and do all these things and I can't take it anymore. And this is what her motherly figures told her. Drink more water. Get yourself a big glass of water, honey, because most likely, if you don't have a brain injury or any trauma to your head, and your head is hurting, then you are 95% likely you are dehydrated. So you need to have some water. And if that doesn't help, let mama go out and pick some herbs and put them on your pillow so that you can have that smell. Maybe it'll just help relax you, some lavender, maybe some jasmine in the bathtub. But that's not what we do today. That story is just a tale. It's a fairy tale. It is alive in very few places today, in very few households. Today, as soon as we have a headache, we question why we have this headache and what this big problem is that we have, and why our head always feels like it's exploding and we can't take it anymore. And we look up on WebMD and online and read blog articles or go on forums and see if anyone else is struggling with the same problem. We try to label ourselves as having some sort of condition. And eventually we go to the cabinet and we open it up and we take a couple ibuprofen or Aleve or Excedrin. And we get into the habit of doing that, and when that doesn't work anymore, then we go to the doctors. This is a true story. One girl, she did go to the doctors because her headaches were so bad. And you want to know what the doctor did? He hooked her up on an IV bag for 6 hours because she was so dehydrated and didn't even know it. It wasn't even a thought in her mind. 6 hours later, the 3-4 day migraine that persisted completely vanished, completely healthy. So I would pose a question to you and also invite you. My question is, why do we do things so much differently today? Why do we not stick with the same remedies that worked for our parents and our grandparents and their parents and their grandparents? We're all doing the same thing all throughout time. Until about the last 50 to 100 years, things have very drastically changed, especially the last 30 years since the 80s. I would invite you to go back to a simpler time. It will improve your health. It will improve your life. It will simplify things immensely. If you got a headache, for instance, you're probably dehydrated. I don't think anybody says it better than Dr. Jeff Getoff. He says this: there is no treatment or drug which can overcome or negate the effects of a poor diet, inadequate nutrition, lack of exercise, and an unhealthy lifestyle.